So friends, last time we have discussed about the some fundamental units of force, mass, pressure, volume. Now I have already discussed that pressure, volume and temperature, these three parameters are one of the most important parameter in understanding the working of elements of mechanical engineering. So these are normally considered as thermodynamic parameters. As we already discussed the pressure and volume, today we will see about the temperature, some concept of specific heat capacity and enthalpy in this today's lecture. So temperature is nothing but the degree of hotness or coldness of the body. Just have to see it is degree of hotness or coldness of the body. The branch in which we have to study the temperature and its measurement are called as the thermometry. As we have seen, you can see here. And the instrument by which you have to measure the temperature is called as the thermometer. Household temperatures are normally or widely used in the corona in current pandemic. Mostly we all use this particular thermometer, contact type and non-contact type. Specifically for public places, we have used the non-contact type thermometer to measure the temperature of the body and to allow the people to enter into the malls and theaters and other things. So temperature is normally measured in Fahrenheit and in centigrade. That normally we are using to measure the body temperature. But one of the another important unit is Kelvin. And normally it is surprising that in mechanical engineering mostly Kelvin is used rather than Fahrenheit and centigrade. So to keep in mind about these things, that try to convert Fahrenheit or centigrade temperature into Kelvin. I will show you how to convert it into these things. So here you have to see the relation between Celsius and Fahrenheit is F. Suppose you have to calculate the Fahrenheit from the centigrade, from the degree centigrade, then you have to use this equation. Degree Fahrenheit is equal to 9 by 5. Here you have to use the degree Fahrenheit plus 32. So centigrade is directly converted into Fahrenheit. Okay, so 9.84 degree Fahrenheit is our body temperature, ideal body temperature, or equivalent to degree centigrade is 32.2 for degree centigrade. So this is about the important aspects of degree Fahrenheit and degree centigrade. And one of the important thing is that you have to keep in mind is that whether you have noted or not, here we are using the degree centigrade. Just have to see the symbol of degree in centigrade or symbol of degree in Celsius also. But in Kelvin, third unit, that is widely used in the mechanical engineering or in thermodynamics, we are not using the degree here. So it is the absolute temperature. Kelvin K is the absolute temperature. Okay, so that is not a degree. We are not representing Kelvin in degree. So that is the point. While writing the temperature in Kelvin unit, you have to keep in mind that there is no presentation of degrees there. Just have to see. And relation between Celsius and Kelvin scale is Kelvin is equal to degree centigrade plus 273. Approximately you have to add plus 273. So minus 273 degree centigrade means 0 degree Kelvin, absolute 0 temperature, minus 273 degree centigrade. That is called as the absolute 0 temperature. Now, why you have to learn the temperature? Because temperature is important to understand the heat. Okay, so here I have already discussed about the work. So work is also a energy, and suppose you have to apply the work. For example, you have to rub your hands, your palms, rub your palms. So that is called as the work. You are applying the work by rubbing the palm each other, mutually rubbing the palm. So whenever you are rubbing the palm, heat is generated between the contact surface of the palm. So in such a case, we can call it as work is always converted into heat, and simultaneously reverse is also true. Heat is also converted into work. So heat and work are mutually convertible to each other. So whenever you need the work, you have to supply the heat energy. For example, say we have to need the work in form of the motion in the vehicles, automobile vehicles, then you have to apply the heat energy, fuel energy. In form of fuel, you have to ignite, and then heat energy is to be converted into work. Okay, so heat energy is to be converted into work energy in case of IC engine, internal combustion engine, and vice versa, work is also to be converted into heat. For example, say air conditioner or refrigerator. What happens in which we have to apply the work in form of electrical energy, where compressor works in air condition, where compressor works, and it is to be converted into heat energy. So heat is removed when your room becomes cooler. So both the kind of thing, whether heat is converted into work, that is called as the power producing device. If heat is converted into work, then it is called as the power producing mechanical element. And if work is to be converted into heat, then it is called as the power consuming mechanical element. So air condition is power consuming mechanical element, whereas internal combustion engine means automobile vehicles are power producing elements. So in mechanical elements, in mechanical engineering, we have two kind of the mechanical elements, power consuming and power producing, and separately we have to discuss both in the upcoming sessions. So keep in mind about the power consuming and power producing device. So whenever you are likely to understand about the actual performance of any kind of mechanical element, you must have the knowledge about the work, you must have the knowledge about the heat. And so we have already understand the work in the previous lecture, and in today's lecture we have to understand the heat. And for easy understanding of the heat, as heat is associated with the temperature, we have already defined the temperature, degree of hotness or coldness of the body. So heat is nothing but the energy like work. Work is also called as work energy, but for easiness of speaking, we are normally called it as work. And heat is also considered as energy, but we are normally calling it as heat for easiness of the speaking. So heat is nothing but the definition. Simple definition is the energy transferred from one body to another body due to temperature difference. Suppose two bodies have temperature difference, then obviously heat is transferred from one body to another body. If both the body are at the same temperature, then there is no heat transfer takes place. Okay, so heat is always transferred when there is a temperature difference between two bodies. So in that cases, we have to see about this scenario. So heat is again a transient quantity like work energy. So it is in transfer mode, and if there is no temperature difference, there is no heat transfer. So it is not a property, it is called as transient quantity. Rather than property, it is called as transient quantity. But what is property? Temperature is called as property. And the symbol of the heat is, you have to keep in mind, symbol of the heat or heat energy is W in mechanical engineering, and for work it is W. For work W, and for heat Q. So Q and W are mutually convertible to each other. Q and W are mutually convertible to each other. That you have to keep in mind. Now, how we are exactly understanding about the heat. So for easy understanding of the heat, you recall the specific heat capacity. That is one of the important parameters, thermodynamic parameter. What happens here in which the heat energy is basically proportional to mass of the substance. So heat energy is the suppose you have to apply the heat to any body, then heat is directly proportional to mass of that substance. So suppose you have to raise the 1 kg of the water. Suppose you have to boil the 1 kg of the water or milk, then you need more energy. Same way, suppose you need less quantity of the liquid, for example, say 100 gram of milk to boil, then you need less energy. So heat energy is normally proportional to the mass of the substance. So if mass is more, then you need to supply more heat. And same way, heat is also directly proportional to temperature difference, delta T, or simple delta T in second Normet. So this is delta T. So in combining these two parameters together, we'll have Q means heat energy directly proportional to mass and temperature difference. So if your temperature difference is high, suppose you are raising the water from minus 20 degrees centigrade to 100 degrees centigrade, then you need more energy. But suppose you need to boil the water from 90 degrees centigrade to 100 degrees centigrade, then definitely you need less energy. So Q is directly proportional to mass and delta T. And proportionality is to be converted into equality by adding one constant. According to the mathematical rule, we have to add one constant to convert the proportionality into equality. So Q, or it is the transient quantity. So Q means dq. Change in heat, dq is equal to C into M delta T. Okay, so dq is equal to C into M delta T. So this is about the concept of the heat energy, and where C is the proportionality constant. Here we have added the C, and that C is nothing but the proportionality constant, and that proportionality constant is called as the specific heat capacity. This is again one of the most important parameters that widely used in the upcoming section. So in nutshell, suppose we want to define this specific heat capacity. So according to this equation, just have to keep in mind. Equation you have to keep in mind while defining this term. Any term can be defined very easily by means of the equation. So it is defined as the amount of heat Q, where Q becomes C, amount of heat where Q becomes C, when M is equal to 1 and delta T is equal to 1. So temperature difference is say 1 degree, and say mass is 1 gram or 1 kilogram. Mass is say 1 gram or 1 kilogram. So Q is equal to C. So it is defined as the amount of heat Q required to raise the unit mass. Unit mass means M is equal to 1. Unit mass of the substance through 1 degree. Through 1 degree means delta T is equal to 1. So if you keep M is equal to 1 and delta T is equal to 1, then Q becomes C. So specific heat capacity is nothing but the heat energy. But where specific capacity is nothing but the heat energy. But when your amount of mass is unit, your mass is unit, and your mass is unit, and temperature difference is also unit. So this is about the unit mass and unit substance. Now mathematically we can call it as C is equal to dq by dt. If ideally we are always consider M is equal to 1, but temperature difference may be any, may be changing. So to derive the equation of derive the unit of the C is equal to dq. Dq means joule. Dq means joule. So to say dq means energy, that is joule per kg kilogram, sorry, into Kelvin. Here M is there. According to equation, M is there. C is equal to dq by M into dt. So M is equal to kilojoule into Kelvin. Okay. So joule per kilojoule Kelvin. That is the unit of the C according to the equation. So this is kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin. This is by mistake I have taken kg. So kilojoule per kilogram into Kelvin. And I have already told you that in thermodynamics or in mechanical engineering fundamentals, we are likely to use the Kelvin instead of centigrade and Fahrenheit. That you have to keep in mind. So this is about the specific heat capacity, very simple explanation and very simple parameter. Now, depending upon this, by governing this equation, by using this equation, you can likely to solve this problem. Determine the specific heat capacity if determine the specific heat capacity. Specific heat capacity means C, that you have to determine when if 1 kg of substance is heated from 35 degrees centigrade to 125 degrees centigrade, and heat transfer takes place as 200 kilojoules. So Q is equal to given delta T is equal to 125 minus 25 means 100 degrees centigrade means 100 plus 273. Okay, convert it into Kelvin, and M is equal to 1 kg. So this is the way how we can use this equation. and solve the problem. So Q is equal to 200 kilojoule. So 200 into 10 raised to 3 joule. T1 25 degrees centigrade means 298 Kelvin. Likely to convert it into Kelvin. And T2 is equal to 125 degrees centigrade. So 125 plus 273 means 398 Kelvin. By mistake, I have taken it as degree, but it is not used. Simply you have to put the K and govern the equation. Q is equal to mc delta T, T2 minus T1, and put the equation, put the value in equation, we'll get the specific heat capacity. So this is about the specific heat capacity explanation, and you can easily calculate or you can easily find out these things. Now we are likely to see about the heat and work relationship. That is the relationship between heat and, as I already explained you that heat and work are mutually convertible to each other. For example, say I have already given you the rubbing of the palm, then that is called as the work. So rubbing of the palm will increase the work is to be converted into heat. Same way, another example is there, pedal wheel rotated. Suppose you have to use the pedal wheel rotated to increase the temperature of the water to some extent. Okay, so that is also possible. And Joule has already done this experiment to find out the relation between heat and work. Okay, so this is the relation between heat and work, and both are energy and both are having same in it. So then ideally we can call it as Q is equal to W. Okay, so this is about the energy. Now what you have to do is you have to keep in mind about this thing, thermodynamic engine. How we can use explanation or understanding of heat and work. We can convert understanding of heat and work into thermodynamic. So that I will show you. Yeah, just you have to see if the energy is supplied to thermodynamic engine. So I have taken one thermodynamic engine in form of heat. Some of this energy is converted into work. The sum of energy is to be converted into work. So here you have to see this figure. The central portion is called as the thermodynamic engine. So this is rounded shape is called as the thermodynamic engine. Okay. And whenever you are supplying the heat, and normally what happens, engine is power producing devices. So whenever you are supplying the heat, engine may be any, say our two-wheelers or four-wheelers. So some of the energy is to be converted into work. Because suppose a petrol fuel fuel, suppose you have to add the fuel, then 100% efficiency is not needed. We are having the average, and average is definitely varying depending upon the engine. So 100% energy heat is not to be converted into work. Some is to be rejected in form of wastage in sink or atmosphere. In our case, in two-wheelers, in atmosphere. So 100% efficiency is not possible for any kind of engine. So heat is never 100% converted into work. Some amount of energy means Q minus W. Because here you are supplying the Q and W is the output, then what happens here? What is extracted here? Q is the input minus W is the output. So Q minus W is wastage, that is rejected. So that is the fundamental difference or fundamental principle of thermodynamic engine. For any mechanical element who is producing the power is called as the thermodynamic engine. Okay, so this is the concept of thermodynamic engine where you have to see. Now efficiency is what? Efficiency is equal to work done divided by output by input. Output is work and input is heat received. Okay, so work done is what? What is the work done? Here what is the work done? W is equal to heat received minus heat rejected. Okay, heat received minus heat rejected, because work done is what? Actually, whatever you are supplying, whatever heat is received by the thermodynamic engine and whatever is extracted. Okay, so heat received is Q and extracted is Q minus W. So what is the work? Input minus output. So just you have to see here from this equation, work done is equal to heat received minus heat rejected divided by input heat received. So 1 minus heat rejected by heat received. So that is the fundamental equation of calculating the efficiency of any kind of mechanical element. So this is about the thermodynamic engine, and widely we are using in upcoming section we can use this thermodynamic engine in subsequent sections. So this is about the heat. Now what happens, what we have to do is we have to understand about the concept of internal energy. Internal, after work energy and heat energy, also you understand about the relation between heat and work. Heat and work are mutually convertible to each other. How to calculate the specific capacity also you have seen. Also you understand the concept of thermodynamics and how efficiency of any thermodynamic engine can be calculated from heat and work concept. So that is the level of today's lecture. Okay, now in today's lecture also we have to see two more concept, internal energy and enthalpy. So here you have to see internal energy is the energy or capacity of the substance or capacity of any system to perform the work without supplying any kind of energy. So it is the energy occupied by itself. Okay, energy occupied by the system itself. We have not to apply external energy to any kind in any form or to any kind to that or to any kind of the system. But what happens, what we have to use is we have to use the energy occupied or contained within the system itself. And within the system, how it is possible? We already studied in physics in school level. Due to relative position or interatomic movement. So energy, internal energy is the energy defined as the capacity of the substance to perform the work. So internal energy of the system is defined as the energy contained within the system itself, within the system. And that energy is only due to relative motion or relative position or interatomic motion or interatomic interaction between the parts of the system. So internal energy are of two kinds, either potential energy in steady position or kinetic energy in moving position. So this is about the potential energy and this is about the kinetic energy. Now internal energy is denoted as U. So you have to keep in mind all notation. Heat energy is Q, work energy or work is W, and internal energy is U. And change in internal energy is called as the delta U. Okay. So this is about the concept of internal energy. Now what happens here? Why we have to study this? Because we are more interested in enthalpy rather than internal energy. So to understand about the enthalpy, we must know about the internal energy. Because enthalpy is defined as the sum of internal energy plus work done. Suppose we have already studied the thermodynamic engine, and thermodynamic engine is supplied, we are already supplying the heat into thermodynamic engine and work is done. So work done by any thermodynamic engine is the extra energy created by the thermodynamic engine by supplying the any kind of energy. Now input energy may be heat energy, input energy may be solar energy, input energy may be any kind of energy. But our main objective is to achieve the work. Output is work. So any kind of thermodynamic engine or any kind of thermodynamic system has internal energy, energy occupied by that system itself, plus work done. That is the energy produced. So combination of internal energy plus work done is called as the enthalpy. So that is the total energy. We can call it as total energy occupied by the system. Total energy means internal energy plus external energy. So enthalpy is the internal energy plus external energy in form of work done, that is to be produced by applying the heat energy. Enthalpy is generally denoted as H. That you have to keep in mind, H for capital H. So H is equal to U plus work done. Now work done is what? Work done is, we already discussed, we already defined in the previous lecture that work done is equal to pressure into change in volume. So H is equal to U plus P delta V. So this is about the concept of enthalpy. Now, in next lecture, we have to see the laws of thermodynamics. Okay, in next lecture, we have to see the laws of thermodynamics. Various kind of the laws are there. Zeroth law of thermodynamics to first law of thermodynamics, second law of thermodynamics, third law of thermodynamics, and so on. So up to this lecture, you have to keep in mind these things. Thank you all.